Now call this meeting to order at 5 o'clock p.m. Senator Brenton, can you lead us in the fight song, please? Roll call.
Director Oyewale, Assistant Director, Director Ali, Assistant Director Elliott, Director Allen, Assistant Director Ajay, Director Johnson, Assistant Director Allen, Assistant Director Ray, Director Rose, Assistant Director Lanesworth, Director Fletcher, Assistant Director Ifeji, Director Brisbane, Assistant Director Tolbert, Director Maduwa, Assistant Director Hurley, Director Moultrie, Assistant Director Basak, Director Mays, Assistant Director Saki Mezal, Representative Cornell,
Present.
Representative Davis, Representative Lewis, Representative Mitchell, Representative Collier, Collier. President Pro Tempore Cynthia Wilson, Government Operations Chair Holland, Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes, Senator Aloja, Senator Yeboah, Senator Dawkins, Senator Clark, Senator Rowlett, Senator Lamb, Senator McKnight, Senator Scenario, Senator Wilcory, Senator OTK, Senator Edwards, Senator So,
Present.
Senator Jolivet,
Present.
Senator Brinson, Senator Kelly,
Present.
Senator Akani, Senator Baywa, Senator Grizzle, Senator Miller, Senator Tasker, Senator Weedlow, Chief Justice Sonia, Deputy Chief Justice Olania, Associate Justice Norwood, Associate Justice Dixon, Associate Justice Bello,
Present.
Moving into approval of the minutes. Minutes are approved. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, seeing none. Okay, I would like to formally introduce our guest speakers to the floor. TU Foundation President Primrose and Vice President D. Philippus.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear us all right? Is it on?
How about now? Oh, there we go. Well, thank you to this group for continuing to do the great things that you're doing, leading our students and engaging with the faculty, staff, and administration of the university. Back in the spring, this body shared some work with us at the TU Foundation. We have been working and discussing and deliberating on that and wanted to come back and give you an update on where we are and what we're doing. And also thought, because I haven't engaged with this group in a while, and I know Edna has to some degree, but not fully, to also give you guys a little bit of a primer on what the foundation is, what we do, how we do it, why we do it, and to share a little bit about our work. So with that, I'll turn it over to Edna.
Thank you, Brian. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hope you had a good weekend. How was homecoming? Hope it was great. And hope your week is getting off to a good start. First of all, I'd just like to say, we really enjoy having Eddie on the foundation board as an ex officio member. He brings a lot to the team, and having the student perspective is really important. So, we really are proponents of shared governance. So we appreciate the opportunity to talk to y'all today. So I'm just going to give you an overview of the foundation. And I know, I think the last time I talked to the SGA was in the spring. So some of you may be new officers and some of you may be hearing it again, but we want to set that stage before we talk about the portfolio itself. So basically, the foundation was established in 1970. So I was like a really, really little kid in 1970, but that's a long time ago. And the foundation has grown over years. It is separately incorporated from the university. So we are what's called a nonprofit organization, and the distinction is 501c3. So the foundation operates independently of the university's operations. Now, having said that, we work really closely with the university. There are a lot of policies that we follow, and we're also part of the University System of Maryland. So the University System of Maryland Foundation is the overarching body for foundations like ours. One of the things that's great about the foundation is that it allows donors to bring philanthropy to life. So for example, I created a scholarship in the College of Business and Economics for a student who lives in Prince George's County because I really struggled while I was here. And so I met with TU staff, figured it out, and now every year someone gets $1,000 from me. Now we have donors that donate scholarships. I think we administered over 1,200 last year. We also have people who fund research. We have people who give general funds, which gives the college the opportunity to spend the money where they need it. We have people who sponsor professorships. We have people who donate to buildings like the new health professions building or the science building. So basically, donors provide funding to the university and entrust us to be responsible stewards. Of course, we have a lot of amazing academic programs as well, and a part of that can also be for community outreach. So I don't know if any of you do projects off campus, but some of those are funded by donors. So the mission of the foundation is to provide financial resources to Towson by building relationships that really, again, bring philanthropy to life. So it's important to have people support the university because it takes a lot to give you the quality programs and services that you have. Towson's grown so much since I went here, and I'm really excited about all the opportunities you get to have. And even having something like the Student Emergency Fund, which wasn't here, I don't know, not even 10 years ago, is great. And donors help to fund that as well. We also strive to be a model among the other universities that are in the University System of Maryland, and we kind of learn from each other too. In our own strategic plan for the foundation, we actively support and promote TU. Again, going back to relationships, always looking for ways to connect the university to our greater Baltimore community. We steward the donations, so we're very responsible for the funding that people give us and making sure that we're conscientious. We maintain our business operations in excellence, so there's like internal audits, all kinds of oversight. And then we also really strive to have diversity on our board in every facet you can imagine. The leadership of our board of directors, some of them are alumni. I'd say maybe 60%, give or take, are alumni. Others are with the community. Others run businesses. And then we have our shared governance leaders like Eddie that's on the board. So we have a nice mix of people that bring a lot to the table. So we're considered to be fiduciaries. Anybody heard that term before, fiduciary? All right, so it's really acting on behalf of an organization. So we are trusted to represent the wishes of our donors and to carry them out responsibly. We also put organizational interests in front of our personal values. Now, I find that the reason I came back as an alum is because Towson's values align with my values, and I really want to make a difference, and I take it very seriously. We have to demonstrate loyalty, impartiality, and prudence, and then apply care, skill, and diligence. So we're super conscientious. whether people are alums or not, we really take our board work very seriously because it impacts everyone in this room when you touch the various programs that I mentioned. So that kind of gives you an overview. We meet about 4 times a year. We have several committees that handle the business, kind of like what you do. And then we get together to conduct that business about 4 times a year. We work real closely with Dr. Ginsburg as well. And as he rolls out his goals, our job will be to support him in that. I also want to say that we have a grant program for faculty to apply to that involves students, and we're really proud of establishing that. And yeah, like, you know, we're here for you. We want to make sure that you have a world-class experience as students. And while we shepherd those funds, that's always foremost on our mind. So thank you.
So I wanted to take a little bit of time. There's been a lot of questions, a lot of conjecture about the foundation's investments. We have tried over the last 4 or 5 years to be a lot more transparent. The idea to come to this group, to share more information online, to have that information be readily accessible. Our job as a foundation is to do so in a thoughtful way, but also to align with the university and to be sure that we are being transparent. We have an investment policy statement that is something that is reviewed annually by both our investment committee, which is tasked on a monthly basis with making our investments, evaluating our investments, making sure that our returns look good, we are mitigating risk, things along those lines. But also the full board has an opportunity to do that. And in the last couple of years, we have broadened that statement. So our investment policy statement is what governs the foundation's activities as it relates to investments. And we consider the following factors: return objectives. That is number 1. Our goal primarily is to generate great returns. That is an obligation that we have to our donors. It's an obligation and a commitment that we have to the university so that we have the dollars to be sure that we are supporting programs and initiatives that benefit you, our students. We have very low risk tolerance, so we are not investing in ways that puts anybody's money at risk or might not actually return investments to support university initiatives. So we might not overly invest in the .coms, or we might not overly invest in a particular area so that we know we have a steady state of returns on an ongoing basis. To that end, we are also looking at diversifying and broadening our asset allocation. We look at cost management. Every dollar we spend on transactions are dollars that don't come back to benefiting students. We have benchmarks that we establish for ourselves on 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10-year ratios, as well as looking at peer institutions. Excuse me. And then we've also recently looked at what we call prohibited investments. That's socially responsible investing, or ESG, for those of you who are familiar with that. What are our assets? So I always want to make sure any group knows what it is, what the dollars are that the foundation are tasked with investing. It is donor money only. We do not invest tuition dollars. We do not invest student fees. We are not investing any state and federal dollars. None of those dollars will show up anywhere in our 990 forms, anywhere our investments, anywhere that we would actually do any business. Our asset allocation, and I'm happy to share this offline, looks as follows. We have about 50% of our assets in U.S. equities, about 12.5% in non-U.S. equities, 14% in alternatives, 2.5% in cash, and about 21% in fixed income. We do that for a variety of reasons. They provide income, stability, growth. We are hedging against inflation. And we want to make sure, again, that we have a steady state of returns. We have, on average, returned about 7.5% over the last 10 years. That benchmark's very strong. We're in the top 25% of all institutions nationally with our size of endowment and assets. And we're proud of that. And we continue to want to make sure that we have dollars coming back to the university. I mentioned briefly socially responsible and investing and ESG. This group, about 4.5, 5 years ago, in concert with the academic senate, came to us and asked us about fossil fuel investments. We took a long time to look at that, about 20 months. I will pause there to say we don't make direct investments, and I know I've talked with Eddie about that and Jordan before that. The foundation doesn't have individual stocks. We invest in mutual funds, we invest in index funds, large pools of assets that we can benefit from. That is very much a part of our strategy. That is a strategy that's used by lots of institutions nationally. But we made some conscious changes to what we did about 4 years ago, so we don't make any direct fossil fuel investments. We have allocated nearly 10% of our portfolio strictly to folks who are ESG-friendly investment managers. And we have a 100% ESG endowment option for donors who elect to choose to be totally fossil fuel free, even though our holdings are only about 1.5% to 2% in our total portfolio for fossil fuels. So we have heard those claims, those requests, and we have tried to be active in terms of what we've done in our investments and change that work, and we'll continue to do that.
So I want to make it a little simpler for you as well. When a donor gives us funding, it becomes an endowment. So we have some scholarships, for example, that are operating. And that means if I'm giving $1,000, I have to pay $1,000 to give it out. If I endow my scholarship, which I actually did, then I give a certain amount of money that folds into the portfolio. So if you think about the foundation being in existence since 1970, we are working with funds that, some are 40, 50 years old. And we need to make sure that we're investing wisely so that we can keep awarding those funds every year. If something happens and like we got really risky, went for crypto 100% or something and lost everything, imagine what we could not do for you. So our donors really, again, trust us to make sure that we are stewards that are growing the portfolio to make sure. Does anyone know the word in perpetuity? What does it mean? Like forever, basically, as long as Towson exists. So my scholarship will live on as long as Towson is a university. And that means there needs to be a constant flow of funds to award a scholarship, 50 years from now to a student from Prince George's County who's in the College of Business and Economics. So if you take our portfolio, which is at $122 million now. When I joined the foundation board in 2017, it was 75 million. So really having that growth enables us to give even more. The endowment market value, yes, is about a little over $100 million. So it's really pretty great. Our assets are about 122 and the endowment is about 100 million.
Sure. So, and it talked a little bit about endowment and spendable income. So what we do in terms of, and I mentioned earlier what our returns have been, about 7.5%. We take about half of those returns and we push them back to the university to say, please go ahead and spend these. So over the last 5 years, the foundation has produced nearly $15 million in assets that have gone directly back to the university to support student programming, faculty initiatives, staff initiatives. And in particular, the lion's share of that money, nearly 66% of it, has been for scholarships. So Edna mentioned earlier, over 1,200 awards. Last year alone, nearly $2.7 million in direct financial aid to students generated by donors. So the lion's share of our support, the lion's share of the money that we are investing and producing income on is really for scholarships. So again, I think, we wanted to give a broad overview. I'm happy to provide some of those data slides for you because, I think it's valuable information to have out there. I wanted to kind of close, and we'll talk a little bit about this, about the resolution and a little bit about what the foundation has done since we were presented with the information back in May of 2024. So the board, which is comprised of alumni, faculty, staff, donors, the like, there are about 28 of us currently. We met in May. We discussed it at length. It was probably about a 45-minute discussion out of our 3-hour meeting. The group decided to form an ad hoc committee. That committee has met 3 times in May, June, and July. They looked at the request, they considered it, they deliberated on it, they asked a lot of important and thoughtful questions about what we would or wouldn't want to do. We started to explore what the alternatives might be in terms of if we were to divest, how might we go about doing that? What might be involved in that? What alternative investments might we consider? At the present time, it is a very deep process that we have to follow. They made no immediate decisions to say we're going to make any divestment changes. We will continue to talk about it. They have charged the investment committee with continuing to look at that. We had a follow-up meeting in September. We've had further discussion about it. We brought our investment advisors in. We've talked to them about the resolution, asked for their input. And as an important next step, we wanted to come back and talk with you, provide this update, hear from this group, hear from others, and we'll continue to have those dialogues with people who are impacted by this decision.
Before we open it for questions, I just want to say that, again, we're really conscientious about being the stewards of these funds because it's super important to the university. We know it's important to you. And I hope that today you can see where you have benefited or accessed different resources that tie back to a donor really caring about Towson and caring about students and wanting to make a difference. The other piece that I want to just touch on, and I did this the last time I was here, is just to say that, Towson it's a great university. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't. And we do have a culture of collaboration and caring. And so I just want to assure you, that we are conscientious. We really respect the shared governance. We appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. And I think that, we're a fortunate university that we can have these conversations in civil discourse. So just thank you for that opportunity. All right, questions?
President Rines.
Thank you again for coming. Could you just touch a bit on the difference between the restricted funds versus the unrestricted funds?
So restricted funds means that the donor has provided the funds for a specific purpose. So for example, I gave you the example of my scholarship. My scholarship is for a student who is in the College of Business and Economics who lives in Prince George's County because I lived in Bowie when I went to Towson. It can't be someone from health professions. It can't be someone from COFAC. It's got to be someone from business and economics. So when a donor gives funds and it's restricted to those wishes, that particular purpose. When it's unrestricted, it's really cool because you can be more flexible and you can put funding where it's needed the most. For example, using unrestricted funds for the Student Emergency Fund during COVID. And creating our grant program that goes back to faculty and staff. So that's the difference. Unrestricted means the university and the foundation can determine the best use. And the donor is like, hey, I just want you to just be great and whatever you needed, do whatever. And the restricted is very stipulated in terms of how they want the funds to be used.
Appropriations Chair Rivera Forbes. Can we get the mic passed down, please?
Thank you for speaking. My question is centered around just if a future alumni wanted to get involved in the process of becoming a donor, how would they do that?
The VP of Advancement.
So there's lots of ways that can happen. The easiest way, the simplest way, the sort of transactional way is there's an online giving platform that's part of the university's website. You can go on there and there are about 25 different standing funds you can choose from. If you know that there's something that isn't on that pre-prescribed list of 25, but you want to give to, like the Primrose Scholarship or the Delta Sigma Theta Scholarship, which is about to be launched. There are ways you can do that online. If you want to do something a little bit more significant, we have a staff of about 12. They are assigned to various colleges or various functions, and we will meet with you and talk with you in terms of how you'd like to support. I was at a meeting with a donor this afternoon who called about 3 years ago in the midst of the pandemic and said, I'm not affiliated with the university, but I really think healthcare workers deserve a better fare in life. They turned out to give us about $1.5 million to fund 10 full scholarships for nursing students. We worked with them through the process of ideating what that would be like, what kind of designations and restrictions they wanted to make, and then help facilitate the gift for them. So there's lots of different pathways. The easiest way is a phone call to our office and a member of the staff will walk somebody through that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because a culture of philanthropy can begin while you're students too, And for me, like I said, I really struggled financially at Towson. I'm not rich by any stretch. And I really wanted to honor my mom for the sacrifices she made when I was here. So they made it affordable where I pay a certain amount a month, you know, to fund the scholarship to get up to $1,000 a year. And like I said, now I've endowed it, so it's a little bit different because I've sort of front loaded it so that it goes into the portfolio. But you don't have to be rich. You know, I think when we had our RISE campaign, which finished last year, we had $100 million goal and we raised slightly over that, which was great. But I think, how much was it? 4 million came from donors who gave $100 or less, right? And then 2 million was from donors who gave $50 or less. So if you just have 10 bucks, it all matters. So don't feel like you can't help or make a difference, because everybody can. Yes.
Director. Sorry. Director McMillan. My apologies.
Okay, my question is, what are some other ways that current students could become involved in the foundation?
So one of the things, our Office of University Advancement, which is a university function, manages, it's called the TU Student Foundation. It used to be called the Presidential Ambassadors Program. There are about 20 students on there currently. They do a number of student-led fundraising initiatives, the Pumpkin Smash, if you may have heard of it, that's coming up tomorrow, is run by our Student Foundation. That's a great way to get involved. We also have that group interact with different donor groups when they come to campus. So we host donors in the President's Suite for football and basketball games. The Student Foundation is involved in that way. We also hire students in our office to work with us and to work with our donors. And the biggest thing we are always encouraging people to do is, if you're not aware of it, and I will send it to the leadership to share with this group, you can apply for scholarships. And that's a great way to benefit from the money that's there. There is a portal for nearly 800 different scholarships with different criteria, like Edna's, that you can apply for with very little lift. It's actually a pretty easy program. But we are always looking for students. The Student Foundation is the best way to get involved.
Director Moultrie.
Hi, so my question was kind of piggybacking off the Director McMillan. Just kind of how can SGA help you all make it more accessible to students and kind of like raise the awareness of the scholarships that you guys have available?
That is a great question, and thank you for doing that. I think that, you know, if there's something that you want to do to create some educational materials, if you want to do a webinar, if you want to just have like, you know, just come and have some snacks and learn about scholarships, I'm happy to come and speak, you know, do a presentation, formally or informally. I think too, you know, maybe just talk about it in your dorms, talk about it in your other affinity groups that you're in, and just kind of see if people know, because as Brian said, there are like 800 choices, and I don't think people know that. It's really, I think it's really important to know what resources are available to you, and, you know, we're kind of all just trying to pass our classes, and you've got exams, and a lot of you work, so you don't necessarily think about all the things that are available to you. So anything that we can do to help you make sure students know all of the resources available, I'm happy to do it. So I love working with students, it's like my favorite thing. So I can come anytime, to anything that you're interested in.
I'll also add that the way our staff is structured is largely around the colleges, but this past year, because Dr. Hurt's an amazing human being, he has also invested in fundraising for student affairs. So we have a new staff member, Jordan Sasanya, who started here back in the springtime. Her job is to actually be out there raising money for student initiatives and student programming. What I would say selfishly, because I get paid to raise money for this institution, is if any of you know of or have ideas about student programming that we should be supporting, come talk to us, come talk to me. Because one of the things I know for sure about all of our donors is the first thing that they're happy to support is a student-led initiative. So even if it's a couple $100 for a project, a couple $1,000 for a project, come talk to us because we can find ways to do that. One of the things we have been trying to figure out with our colleagues in student affairs is to create a student-facing fundraising platform that you can create different campaigns and initiatives to support various student-led initiatives. We're still finding the right venue and the right vendor to do that work, but we want to continue to try to find ways to put our students front and center in terms of getting out in front of our donors projects that they're passionate about.
Thank you. In the gallery?
Oh.
Hi there, it's talk above you. Brian, we met before because I'm a student who was involved in the fossil fuel divestment program. So I'm happy to see that that has been meaningfully enacted in the TU Foundation. And so I also was one who kind of came up with the specific methodology for divestment that was in a resolution. So I wanted to ask more specifically, as you know, you disclosed the list of investment managers that the TU Foundation uses the financial products that you invest in from 2020. And that's what we based our research off of for the likely targets of divestment. So I guess a first simple question is, would you be willing to provide an updated list, like a current one, since it was a pretty easy process last time? That'd be great. And then two, I was wondering if you could comment a little more specifically about some challenges or questions about the specific methodology of identifying the targets of divestment that we're looking for.
So happy to share that. Always happy to share that information. I think I appreciated that process a couple of years ago. I think that was a productive conversation, and I was happy that the foundation looked at that in a very thoughtful and progressive way. Happy to share the information and give you updates in terms of how we invest our money. Some of that is available online. It's not always easy to find, but that's not intentional. Our website's just not always readily accessible to most people. In terms of where we are going right now, and it's the same with fossil fuels, I think, insofar as we would have to find entirely new investments. So when we are investing in mutual funds and index funds, it will have, to your point from the language, upwards of 88, 89 companies in a portfolio. If a third of them are objectionable, we have to sell the entire holding. We can't just say, don't invest in these 33 companies. Those funds don't work that way. So our step, the reason why it took about 20 months with fossil fuels was we needed to be looking at entirely alternative investment platforms to consider in lieu of what we were doing. The main difference right now is there were already funds in place that were SRI and ESG friendly from a fossil fuel standpoint. We have asked and we are exploring what alternative investments might look like given this situation. It's not a market that has shown up yet, at least not from what we have heard from our investment advisors. That would be a first step for us, is understanding what our alternatives are. That's an important first step. And then I would say measuring that performance based on our current performance, because as I said before, whether anybody likes it or not, our ability to perform at a high level and get good returns is probably our number one consideration. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I think when you are trying to identify which funds you're trying to divest from in the first place, does that reflect the methodology that's in the resolution, or do you have a different approach to identifying the targets in the first place?
Sure. I would say it's a two-part answer. One, our investment policy statement would govern a big part of that consideration set. We would, as we did with fossil fuels, also look at what has been requested of us.
Any other questions? No? Thank you both so much. Okay, we can now move into public participation slash student concerns. Hearing none. Seeing none. We now move into communication. Advisors' remarks.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Sorry, I'm very happy today. All right, so I only have two things and they're just general. One, hope you had a happy homecoming. I sure did. It's great to see so many of you out, from the parade to the game. Congratulations to our homecoming king and queen, your very own. Are they here? Or is it? Oh, okay. Paper. So that was a really exciting time. Be sure to congratulate and celebrate them. It's exciting that two SGA members are the king and queen this year. And the other one is, I hope y'all have marked your calendars that fall break is on Friday and that you actually utilize that time to rest, to relax. You don't have class, but the university is open. So if you wanted to, come do some homework or relax on campus, you can do that too. I yield my time.
Appropriations Committee.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. Okay. Very short report. Last week, the Appropriations Committee did meet on Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. And we discussed more of Article 6, our grants, and just ensuring that all of our information is up to date. We did change all of the grants to say fund at the end, so that's something you'll definitely be seeing in a bill soon. And we also started with our process of writing in the undergraduate research fund as well. We will be meeting tomorrow appropriations, so please make sure you're there on time at 11:30 a.m. promptly, and we will be voting on grants. So yay, money, yay. Okay, I yield.
Government Operations Committee.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tiger Tuesday. Not much. I just want to remind you all that GovOps will be meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. It is a lengthy meeting, so please get there promptly so we can start on time. Thank you. I yield my time.
Rules Committee.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Tiger Tuesday. So just a few announcements. So last week we met Thursday, 1 p.m. as always, and we ruled Senate Bill number 1 favorable without amendments and Senate Bill number 3 favorable with amendments. If you'd like to know what those amendments are, they can be found in the minutes on the SGA SharePoint, but I do believe the bill will be possibly changed today. So I'll leave that to the Senate to do. And we have the unfinished business of reviewing Article 3, the judicial branch. This Thursday we'll be meeting again at 1 p.m. And Simi is going to be, Vice President Sani will be speaking on Senate 101s and yes, all of those processes. With that, I yield.
President Ryan.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone.
Tiger.
Okay, so I have a few shout outs to go around the room. Firstly, I would like to thank Edna and Brian for coming to speak today. That's greatly appreciated. And then also, congrats again, Edna, for being recognized as a distinguished alumni of Tufts University. Then I also hope you had a good homecoming week. I want to give a special shout out. I know I said something last week, but again this week to Director Ali and Assistant Director Hurley for really spearheading a lot of what happened last week. And then I know Advisor Harris also said this, but this is the 3rd year in a row where the homecoming royalty has been in SGA. So shout out to Deputy Chief of Staff Lusani and the Senate. I don't know who's gonna be here next year, but please keep up the tradition, please. And then also, I want to give a shout out to our SALA Award Work Group. So I know that is Assistant Director Elliott, Director Mata Wuba, and also Chief of Staff Ada Wole. So thank you guys for what you did. I saw the changes. I know a lot of time and hard work went into that, so I appreciate it. And then also just a quick update, I had a chance to attend the freshman council meeting last week and I shared a couple of gems and touched on really just being a voice of impact on campus and a little bit about commitment. So thank you guys for having me out there last week. And then lastly, on to our member of the week. Can I get a drum roll? Okay, so this week's member of the week is a new member to SGA, but they have honestly stepped up very, very quickly in doing things, some things that fit in their job description and some things that don't. And so I know for the past few years, this office space that we currently use is fairly new. It's about 2 years old. This is our 3rd year using it. But this was the first year that we actually decorated the office like the rest of the university for homecoming. And so I know we took down some of the decorations today because homecoming week is over, but last week the office was pretty vibrant in terms of, the streamers and the letters and the balloons and everything. And that was really nice and greatly appreciated. So without further ado, our member of the week is Associate Justice Norwood. Other questions? All right, thank you. With that, I yield.
Attorney General Bennett.
No report.
President Mauricio.
So I'm also going to be giving Treasurer Mauricio's report. He had to step out briefly. So final budget submissions closed last night. So the budget hearings will take place next week, starting Monday on October 28th. I think that's, 28th. And then also, budget committee members, you should have received the email from Treasurer Mauricio, basically just stating, to sign up for the days that you plan on attending. And also, if you are a member of the Budget Allocation Committee, your attendance is required. So if you're not in class or if you don't have an emergency going on, you have to be in these meetings or you will be subject to a PDR. But are there any questions on that? All right, with that, I yield.
Chief of Staff Adewola.
Hey, y'all, just 2 reminders. On Thursday for pre-meeting is the big and little reveal. So if you're a little and haven't filled out that form, please fill it out. Thanks. And then other thing was that the breast cancer walk is on Saturday 9 to 11 and it counts as community service hours. So be there. That I yield. Okay. Any questions?
So for like the walkout songs or the songs that we're going to like link up on, does it have to be the ones that the littles put in the forms?
Maybe that song, but if you know a different song that they like, I guess. Yeah. Never mind. Okay, simply says it has to be that song, and whatever song you put in there is what you will be listening for. But that I yield.
Yeah, just point of clarification. For the bigs and little, whatever song you put as a little is the song that will play so that you know it's your time to come up and you get your big review. If you would like to change that, I would say do so like by Wednesday. Any questions? Oh, cool. Department of Academic Affairs.
Happy targets to everyone. Not much to report, just a reminder that we have an event with the Career Center on November 6th from 6 p.m. to 7:30. The name is Major is Blind, so quick description is technically just putting the career coaches out there in front of undecided majors, be it freshman, sophomore, and just giving them like a overview of what each college and each major has to offer. And then secondly, the Academic Standards Committee met today in the afternoon, and the attendance policy that was brought to the committee was denied, and they offered suggestions to rewrite the policy to be more inclusive. So yeah, that's all. Any questions? Without you.
Department of Communications.
Hi, happy Tiger Tuesday. No real reports. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who showed out and came out for homecoming this week. Like Eddie said, from walking parade to any of the events we had. We did sell out our talent show as well as our Ox Wars was one of our more events that we didn't expect for the largest turnout, but we had pretty well turnout all week. But for us to sell out our talent show was a big accomplishment for the homecoming committee. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and say thank you. And say thank you for everybody who attended and showed up and showed face from SGA. That really means a lot. And then congratulations to Oreo for winning Royalty Court and Bernard. He's not here, but thank you guys so much. Okay, with that, I yield if there's no questions.
Department of Community Outreach.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, guys. Not too much to say, just a couple of reminders. So the Walk to End the Alzheimer's event with the TU Pre-Med Club is this Saturday, October 26th at the Hunt Valley Town Center. Check-in will begin at 7:50, and they're still accepting participants through the link that Senator Grizzle sent in the admin group me. Everybody who registered with their team will receive 2 hours of community service. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about that, just go ahead and ask Senator Grizzle. And then our St. Vincent Village service opportunity is full, so thank you to everybody who signed up for that. And we'll be creating a group chat soon just to situate rides and make sure everybody has ample transportation. So if you signed up, just be on the lookout for that. Any questions? Okay, with that, I yield.
Department of Diversity and Inclusion.
Hi, everyone. So just to tell you all about an event on the Center for Student Diversity as well as Student Government Association, LASSO, and the Office of Language, Literature, and Culture, we will be hosting our Dia de los Muertos event on Monday, November 4th from 12 to 2 p.m. It is going to be held in the College of Liberal Arts Building in room 4400B, and then you can go on the CSD's Instagram and register through there. Any questions? With that, I yield.
Department of Governmental Affairs.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tiger Tuesday.
Happy Tiger Tuesday.
So just a reminder that early voting starts October 24th, and we will be collabing with Civic Engagement for a party proposed that day. A sign-up genius will come out if you will need help that day. It'll be from 11 to 2. And we are finalizing details for the election watch party on November 5th. Any questions?
President Pro Tempore 50 and Wilson.
What is the last day to order your mail-in ballot?
October 29th, last day to request your mail-in ballot. And there will be a drop-off box at South Campus Pavilion. And with that, I yield my time.
Department of Health and Wellness.
Okay, hey guys, 3 things. So we will be collaborating with Sustainability for their eco fair, but I will let them touch base on that more. Last week, we had 2 meetings. One was with the student success programs, just to talk about the De-Stress for Success Fall 2024 event. We will be collaborating with them on that. Basically, we just started the initial planning for that. More information for that to come. The second meeting was with Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs, Director Moultrie, and Assistant Director Basat. We are basically doing an event for CPR. Basically, so for people to get their certification, recertification. We also want to do a Narcan certification and promote Tiger Protocol. So yeah, any questions? Okay.
Representative Davis.
Just when is the CPR training?
This will be in next semester. We just started the planning for it, so it's not really like definite yet. Any other questions? Okay, with that, I yield.
Department of Marketing.
No report.
Department of Youth Student Development.
Hey, happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. Okay, so we just wanted to first say thank you for everybody coming out to our first event, Speed Friendly. It went well, and we really do appreciate it. Transfer Council Week, or Transfer Student Week, has started this week, and we'll be having a giveaway this Friday. And also Freshman Council are having 2 upcoming events. Any questions? Okay, cool. And with that, I yield my time.
Department of Special Projects.
No report.
Department of Student Services and Affairs.
Okay, happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody. Okay, so like Director McMillan said, we did meet with Assistant Vice President of Student Health and Wellbeing. Just in regards to, I don't know if you all saw, but Assistant Director Elliott posted a poll just to see if you guys would be interested in doing a CPR event before we really sat down and started the process, because it is a process. But that we got a good response, so it's in the works. We are trying to do like a Heart Week event. So CPR, where it's gonna be the week of Valentine's Day. So kind of to go with the theme a little bit, give out flowers. So if anybody wants to collaborate, or if anybody has any events that they think would be good for Heart Week, we're open to suggestions. You can come to me, you can come to Victoria or Director McMillan. Street team was last week. Thank you guys for participating. If you did, just to remind you guys, it is a good opportunity to get student opinions to help with initiatives and events. We are really getting a lot of good responses, so I would really encourage you guys to sign up when we do it. Desserts with E-Board is coming up in the next 3 weeks. Look out for that. Pretty sure that's it. Any questions? No? Okay, with that, I yield.
Department of Student Organization.
Just a few things to say. I had my student on Monday yesterday. We had a decent turnout. It was good. People had fun. And I have Tiger on Tuesday, next week Tuesday. It's a Halloween edition. So it's a costume contest. And then first prize is $100, second and third is $50 for their student works. And then I had a meeting with Chris, the coordinator of student works from student activities, and we're trying to do a campaign for meth busters for so students would understand how to get involved on campus and just remove any things they think happen because to prevent student involvement on campus. Any questions? And with that, I yield.
Department of Sustainability.
Hi, everyone. So one of the first things I want to talk about is the Eco Fair. It's going well, the planning and everything. We submitted the events planning form. It's not going to be a lot bigger, so more updates for that to come, but it will be October 31st from 12 to 2. So please come if you can. We're also brainstorming community service for November. So if there are any initiatives or things on campus that you think are important in regards to sustainability, please let us know. The service partnership we had with the hub went well. Not a lot of donations, but I don't know, it was the first time they did it. So I think as time goes on, it'll get bigger. And yeah, any questions? Okay, I yield.
Military Veterans Representative. Please pass the mic down.
Just real quick, so, Veterans Day is this month, so upcoming on the 9th, we'll be doing we'll be having our Veterans Day event. We'll be having, different vendors from around Oakland County coming in to support veterans. We'll be utilizing the ballrooms. This will all be happening around the same time as the game, so we'll be moving back and forth to the game. But at the same time, while we have, this going on for veterans, we will have, some volunteer opportunities. I'll be sending out the spreadsheet, probably tomorrow, for volunteer hours. We have, like last year, we'll have a playroom set up for children while the veterans are getting whatever help and assistance they need. Any questions?
Reach Life representative. URG representative.
Happy Tiger Tuesday. Okay, so, on Monday, I did a tabling event with the hub. Shared a lot of information, shared some information on the drive we're doing with the hub, which starts next Friday, November 1st. And it lasts throughout, it ends November 15th. Basically, we're putting donation boxes in residential halls. You could donate food, clothing, toiletries, anything that isn't open or expired. And this upcoming Thursday is our movie night. It's from 6 to 9 over in Towson Town Field. The movie does start at 7, but we will be doing trick or treating, a Boo Basket giveaway, and more. Are there any questions? And with that, I move.
Sports Club Council representative.
No report.
Have representative.
Good afternoon. Only a few updates. So CAP sent out a form for student organizations in order to like collab with them next month, as November will be our collab month. So far, we only got 8 submissions, and our form closes on the 26th. So if you guys are in any org that you want to collab with CAP, you could fill out that form. The link is in our bio for our Instagram. And then Survive Towson, one of our events is next Wednesday from 6 to 9. And Towson, in front of the union. Any questions?
Assistant Director Hurley. When will the organizations hear back from you all about the clubs?
So after the 26th, when the form closes. Any other questions? I have my time.
Transfer student representative.
So this week is Transfer Student Week, so if anyone here is a transfer student, happy weekend. Happy week. Sorry. We will have a tabling on October 30th from 12 to 2 here at the Union. To talk about how to become part of the Transfer Council and all the resources for transfer students. With that, I yield any questions.
Freshman Council representative.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody. Just want to give a special thank you to President Rhymes for coming out to speak with us. It was a very insightful speech, so thank you for that. Just a reminder, our 2 events, we have our first event, our bonfire night on Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30, as well as the following Monday, we have our game night from 6:45 to, I believe, 8:45. So we hope to see everybody there. Any questions? That are you.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Tiger Tuesday.
I have a few important announcements to you all. As President Pro Tem 450 and Wilson stated, the one-on-one meetings are mandatory. If you have not completed your one-on-one meetings, you are now past due. Multiple announcements have been made regarding this. So you now have 48 hours to schedule a meeting with President Pro Tem 450 and Wilson. Failure to do so will result in an automatic PDR. Okay, so now we move into attendance and punctuality. It has come to my attention that senators have not been attending their committee meetings and have been consistently arriving late. Consider this a formal warning. After this week, any further issues will result in a PDR. As attending meetings on time is part of your duties outlined in Article 2, Section 2, subsection A and C of our bylaws. As per our bylaws, you are required to respond within 2 business days to any communication, including messages from Senate leadership. Please ensure you're staying responsive and fulfilling all your responsibilities. As we progress through the school year, it's y'all get what I'm saying. It's essential that everyone does their part to contribute to our success. If you are facing challenges, please don't hesitate to reach out for us for support. We don't know to extend grace unless you communicate that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Cool. Are you? Opinions of the court?
Happy Day. Okay, so last week, the judicial branch reviewed a formal appeal, which was approved based on the 2/3 majority vote. And also, I just want to say thank you to everyone that helped me decorate the office for the first year. Woo-hoo, we did it. Right. And with that, I yield. All right, we will now move into quorum call. So please, when the vote opens, click the green button to symbolize that you are here. Also, I would ask that those that are sitting next to someone who just went to the bathroom quickly press the green button for them as well. All right, we're going to redo the quorum call. So 1 second, please. Okay. The quorum call is once again open. Please do the same thing. Okay. And we also have, one senator who will be voting by hand due to the fact that we don't have a clicker on their behalf. All right, are there any motions on the floor? Government Operations Chair Holland?
I motion to table Senate Bill 3, to next. I do think that we need to review it one more time with all the amendments and consider those.
Are there any seconds?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Ronald. That motion, table Senate Bill number 3 has been passed and will be tabled to the next General Assembly. Are there any other motions on the floor? Senator Rowland,
Motion to review Senate Bill 1.
is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Miller. All right, seeing that I'm the writer of Senate Bill number 1, I will ask. Oh. My apologies. And with that, the motion to review Senate Bill number 1 is passed. Could Senator Brinson please step to the floor and give a quick summary?
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everybody.
Tiger Tuesday.
Okay, so like President Pro Tempore Vivian Wilson said, we made no amendments to this bill when we reviewed it in the Rules Committee. So I'm just going over it one more time. So essentially, this bill just puts it in writing that the President Pro Tempore and subsequently the Senate leadership elections are done during the first General Assembly of the academic year, rather than the summer retreat like it says in the Constitution currently. So that's about it. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Senator Brinson. Oh, are there any opinions or questions at all concerning this bill? All right, thank you. Are there any motions on the floor? Government Operations Chair Holland.
Can we call the question on to Bill 1?
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Rowland. So we will be redoing this vote. Please no one vote on behalf of anyone who has excused themselves from the General Assembly. All right, with that, the vote has been opened again on the call to question of Senate Bill number 1. Okay, the call to question on Senate Bill number 1 has been passed, and we will now move to the official vote on the passing of Senate Bill number 1. And with that, the Senate Bill number 1 has been passed. Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion
Senator Rowland,
motion to release Senate Bill 4.
are there any seconds?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Rowland. I'm sorry, did you say motion to review or inspire? Can you, I would recommend that you withdraw your motion.
Okay, I will try.
Okay. Are there any motions on the floor?
Motion to inquire Senate Bill 4.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Miller. And we will now move into the inquiry phase of Senate Bill number 4. Oh, sorry, the vote to move into the inquiry phase. And with that, the motion to inquire on Senate Bill number 4 has been passed. Would Government Operations Chair Holland please come take over for me as I am the writer for this bill? Okay, Senate Bill number 4 is the changing of language within the Ethics and Accountability Handbook. This change is just changing, for one, the section number, so the sections were numbered incorrectly, so that was changed from section 2 to 3. And also in section 2, article A, all members must complete 5, which is striking 3, community service hours, which is striking events, each semester, one of which must be completed through a SGA sponsored event, which that section, one of which, et cetera, was not included before, but it is to match with what was already stated in the bylaws. And that is what the changes that were made in that section. Are there any questions?
Assistant Director Montana. Oh. Oh, Montana, I'm sorry. So how do we know, would all of our SJ sponsored event be counted as community hours or only certain ones?
So that's just specified based on the event itself, and the hours that you're completing, whatever the person who was hosting the event would specify that at the time of the event. Yeah, some events are community service, some of them are office hours, so, yeah. Thank you. Basically the same as how it is now, just like aligned with our documents. Any other questions? Thank you, President Pro Tem Porter Wilson. You can stay up there though. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator McKnight.
I motion to call to question Senate Bill number 5.
Oh, this is
To
just-
inquire, sorry, motion to inquire Senate Bill number 5. Excuse me.
A second.
Second.
Thank you, Senator Jolette. Sorry, Jolette. Jolivet, I'm sorry. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to inquire Senate Bill number 5. Seeing that President Pro Tem Vivian Wilson is the writer of this bill, do you just want to let us know a little bit about it? So the motion to inquire hasn't passed yet. We'll just wait 1 second. Oh, I can't even see that. Just 1 second. Okay, being that the inquiry has passed, President Pro Tem Vivian Wilson. So, Senate Bill number 5 is doing the exact same thing that the previous bill, Senate Bill number 4 was doing, but just in the bylaws instead. Just basically aligning all of our documents, making sure they all state the same thing and have the same requirements across all documents as we should be checking. So, what was changed is, Article 1, organization, Section 2, membership, item A, and sub item D, So we struck participate in at least 5 community service events and change it to complete 5 service hours a semester, one of which must be completed at an SGA sponsored event. So, yeah. The language was changed from events to hours and added in that one must be completed at an SGA sponsored event. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you, Pro Tem Vivian Wilson. Now giving back control to President Pro Tem Vivian Wilson. Bring the motion on the floor. Senator So.
motion to inquire on Senate Bill number 6.
Is there a second? I second. Thank you, Senator Akoni. Akoni. And now we'll move into a vote on the motion to inquire on Senate Bill number 6. Note that the motion to inquire on Senate Bill number 6 has been passed. Would Senator Kelly please step to the front and give a quick summary of your.
All right, good evening, guys. So Senate Bill number 6 is an amendment to the standing rules of order, specifically Article 5, Section 4, basically just to include an explanation of what it means to make a motion to suspend Senate rules. It's not already explained in there, so it just adds an explanation of what it means.
Are there any questions? Governor Operations Chair Holland.
Do you mind just reading what you have added to this?
Okay, so motion to suspend Senate rules, it requires a 2/3 majority vote to pass. It's used to basically temporarily suspend standing rules for immediate consideration of legislation or other actions that need expedited treatment. And then you must specify which rules are being suspended, and then the suspension of the rules lasts for the duration necessary to complete your necessary actions or the remainder of that General Assembly, whichever comes first. And then it's not debatable and it can't be reconsidered.
Are there any questions? All right, thank you, Senator Kelly. Are there any motions on the floor? Government Operations Chair Holland.
Motion to inquire about Senate Bill 487. Sorry.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Senator Rowland. And with that, the motion to inquire on Senate Bill number 7 has been passed. Would you give an explanation of your bill, please?
So Senate Bill number 7 is a proposed amendment to the preamble of the Constitution to include the terms nonpartisanship and impartiality. These are things that the SGA are already committed to doing. So I just think it's important that it is explicitly stated in the preamble. Thank you.
Are there any questions? All right, thank you, Senator. Okay, question from Vice President Sonny.
Sorry, I just want a bit of clarification. You said, you decided to add it in the preamble because we stated in our governing documents, correct?
Yeah.
You said because we already do it, so you just decided to add it.
It's something that the SGA is already committed to. We already act in this manner, we're already impartial, we're already not partisan. I just think it should be explicitly stated in there for more transparency, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you, Senator Kelly. Are there any announcements? Vice President Sani.
Just recycle your agendas if you don't want them. Put your nameplates in the box in the back. Thank you.
Please do not pack up yet, seeing that we have not adjourned. Are there any motions on the floor? Government Operations Chair Holland. Motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Thank you, Senator. And with that, we'll move into a vote on adjournment. And with that, General Assembly has now been adjourned.